with that map closed out, either one of these teams is one step closer to heading up against G2, but the other, unfortunately, will have to go home. Welcome back. I'm Janiro, your host on the desk with Baby Bay and Kuka, and we're going to try and break this one down because, again, Baby Bay, you were wrong. Coming into this, you said, I'm not really the biggest fan of either one of the map picks that these teams went for, so how does it feel to be proven wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I also did say I am convinced that if they are picking this map, they probably cooked on it, and cooked is an understatement. They went crazy on this map, and a lot of it came from this play right here, Kukuka.
Me.
Yeah.
No, this play right here, Kukuka. This play right here.
Yeah, exactly. Daiki, exactly. On round 4, in this 2v5 situation where they managed to turn that around, we are talking about how important it is for Team Liquid to have the home crowd buff. And nothing is going to boost your ego higher than winning this round, because from then on, momentum just was on their side. Round after round. Definitely beautiful to watch. Also, in talking about the preparation and choosing maps and all of these things, they had the chance of watching SMG, right? And knowing that they were playing with this composition. Now, Team Liquid knows exactly how to work around and against this composition because they play it as well. And I think that it showed off, especially when we were onto the later halves, and V0 is having so much impact with the chamber. She knew exactly where to have the biggest impact in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That's a very solid point. I was going to bring that up as well because this was a chamber diff. Let's just be honest. But Kohebi had such a good first map. I was surprised how much of a slow start she had into this series or into this map on Bind, because I thought she was going to take this away because of how well she played on Haven.
To a certain extent, though, coming into this, you expected there to be a lot of anti-stratting coming out from the side of Team Liquid towards SMG. Has that been satisfied?
Yeah, and it kind of looked like they were running their own plays against them in a way. So it was kind of really interesting. Like, Bizarro was doing the same peaks that we saw Kohibi doing in other series against other teams on Bind, and it was working against them. So it was like, you're kind of getting outplayed by your own playbook in a way.
Yeah, and I think that also looking at this head-to-head, the Neri versus Bastarda, something that we're definitely going to see in the last map as well. Bastarda was not having the biggest luck with those openings. She was actually going down quite a bit. On the side of Neri, she was doing a lot for the team, but it wasn't enough. And as I said, I think that that momentum that Liquid got off of the crowd just cheering for them, that is going to take a while to let go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just the crowd either getting that momentum going, but also the fact that Team Liquid time and time again were getting themselves clutches, they were getting themselves multi-frags, they were just making sure that continuously they were on the top of their game. And when you are coming into this like SMG, I mean, you're gonna feel it from like a player perspective. Don't know if you've been there, but the crowd's going absolutely crazy for your opponents, and you're like, I'm here too.
Yeah, and it's brutal. And one thing I noticed on the first map, when SMG was completely just like holding W and steamrolling Liquid, Liquid did not look like they were upset about anything. They were still playing their own game, they were calm, they were still smiling and laughing, but I did see that on this map specifically, SMG looked like they were getting frustrated again. It reminded me a lot of G2. It reminded me of that second map when they lost to G2, and I saw their facial expressions when they left. And I'm kind of worried that they're not using that approach. I hope their coach, Cobalt, calms them down and says, hey, like, just calm down, guys. Relax. It's not over yet. You know, we have another map.
Yeah.
And they have to close out now. This is do or die for them.
But that goes back to the point that we talked about super early on at the start of the tournament, Kuka, when it was like SMG 35-0, haven't tasted loss.
Yeah.
How are they going to deal with it? And this is potentially the second loss that they have tasted, the only other one being up against G2 that knocked them into the lower bracket.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the reason, like, it's normal, right? That in every region there's a team that is very dominant. In bigger regions, that chance is lower. But then coming into the international event, I think it works more into the day-to-day basis, into how you adapt to your opponents and how well prepared you can be in such a small time, right? Definitely this being the last map of the competitive year for one of these two teams, the pressure is definitely on. As I'm saying, for Team Liquid, they're coming off after winning that map in the fashion in which they did it. We were also talking about how in Haven, they were throwing those advantages, those 5v4s. In this case, they turned them around. And even when they had that disadvantage, they were able to close round after round. And as I said, with the crowd on your side and you just vibing with your teammates, like after Daiki gets that clutch on round 4,
the crowd went
it's impossible that you lose.
Yeah.
The crowd went absolutely crazy. And now, you know, you're thinking, oh, like, Team SMG, they went into this saying, oh, like, we're going to treat all these matches as a scrim, but It's the last map. If you lose, you're out of this tournament.
And it's Ascent.
I'm 100% certain that it's not this mentality of, oh guys, it's just a scrim. When you literally hear this crowd going up against you, and it's just Team Liquid chants the entire way through, whether you're winning or losing the round. So,
but regardless of how this map goes, whether you win it and you're going up against G2 Gozen, so you have to deal with that mental hurdle. You have to deal with another game. You lose it, unfortunately, you're going home, which also is not a nice place to be.
And hear me out, G2 is probably just warming up right now. We were talking about the possibility of this being a very, very long day for one of the teams, and definitely this going to a third map is going to mean that they're going to need a break that they're not going to have. There's not going to be that mental reset that you probably need from, you know, facing one opponent and then the other one. And thinking about Ascent and knowing that SMG is starting on the defense, I'm a little bit worried because on Haven, they were so good on the retakes, so actually good. And then here on Bind, they were unsuccessful. Literally not there, nothing to do. So which SMG are we going to get on Ascent?
When it comes to Ascent, though, particularly, and some of the fundamentals that we've already seen from SMG, are you thinking that that could be enough, given they come out of this slump?
I think that this is actually a really good map for Liquid, especially with the matchup that they had yesterday against BBL. BBL played a very aggressive style, trying to get the early first bloods, and Liquid seemed to have almost all the answers and all the accurate reactions. Don't worry about it. but I feel like Liquid already has a good way of not getting first blooded on this map, and then bringing everything together and not having any corners unchecked. Like, they literally use utility when you're supposed to. They clear out the corners they're supposed to clear. As a team, they're waiting for all this stuff, and they don't really make mistakes. Now, that being said, Team SMG plays a very, very aggressive style, and it could make them do that. But I think BBL was actually doing a lot more aggressive plays than SMG has so far in the series.
I feel like Ascent being the third map is a little bit mild, you know, because it's like it's always the even ground. I would have liked something a little bit more risky, but I also understand, you know, the thought process of it all. Team Liquid has already played it during this tournament, and they have been successful against teams like, for example, BBL. And of course, I think that it comes a little bit scary to SMG, but definitely they do have that tape. They do have those beauties to go over and kind of study the patterns that they present in game. Now, is that going to be enough? That's the question.
That's a question that hopefully we will get answered very soon. Before we do so, though, in terms of the compositions, we've seen pretty similar things from both of these teams. Heading into Ascent, are we looking at any potential surprises?
No, definitely
Ascent?
not. No, there's gonna be no surprises. It's gonna be default comps all around.
It is going to be comps.
Yeah, but someone that we haven't seen pop off today as much as she usually does is Alexia, and we were talking about her earlier. And this needs to be the map where she really steps up and starts putting big numbers on for
no pressure though.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but there is but
it's
no
not
pressure,
a scrim anymore. It's not a scrim anymore, I'm telling you. And I'm worried about that mentality going into this map because I mean, it's not a scrim. This is it. This is tournament life right now. Do you want to be a champion or do you want to go home?
I mean, I think everybody would know the answer to that. I don't think any team really came into this tournament thinking, oh yeah, we're going to be going home. Eventually, of course, that is going to be the case, and that will be the case for one of these teams today. But I think that even goes besides the hurdle of just losing this map. It also means that once you're done with Ascent, as you said it already, a long day, you've already played 3 maps, you then need to reset again, get back into that headspace and go, yeah, let's go, we got this. We're going up against a team that already beat us and the former champions of 2022.
Revenge. That's all you need to be thinking.
That's like your favorite word.
Hear me out. It is.
That.
It probably is. But I know that Baby Bay is going to be sitting here being like, no, they're not tired. They're just warmed up and ready for G2.
No, map 3
that player hopium.
Map 3 is rough, especially if this map goes the distance too. Like imagine this goes to an OT. And
I would not be surprised.
Oh my God.
You're gonna be just worn out. We already saw how much Alexi was screaming, literally screaming at the top of her lungs on that first map. So yeah, they're gonna be low energy for sure. Maybe they need a little bit of caffeine or something.
Well, we are getting the Prime Gaming Agent Select to see what the compositions are, and once again, a mirror matchup which comes down to how are you going to utilize it to put a spanner in the work for your opponent.
I'm looking at Daiki again with the Sova. I think that she's honestly brilliant. I think that Bizarra also is having quite a day. Looks like I'm cheering from Team Liquid. I would have liked SMG to maybe expand their horizons a bit and maybe, you know, throw a curveball onto them. Maybe a Reina, something crazy that, you know, they've done in the past. So why not bring it back? But no, it's just basic.
But with so much on the line, I think sticking
Yeah,
to
I know.
comfortability would probably be right.
can
And
wish.
this is it. Do or die. Our third and final map, which will also be the final map of the season for one of these teams. The winner moves on to face G2 on this stage later today. Let's send it back to our casters, Mimi and Ender, who are ready to break it down.
It's map number 3 here, and it is new territory for SMG. They have never played an elimination map before. They didn't lose at home. In the lower bracket here already, it's been 2-0s for them. This is new territory. The pressure is on to stay alive.
But it's TL's territory in front of a home crowd here. There's no way they can afford to go home.
A main control for Team Liquid. Bastarda will follow up. They can turn this one into a fast hit, but SMG heavy in mid can quickly rotate through.
If Team Liquid do anything out in mid, SMG are going to pounce on them instantly. A-site pretty much open for the taking right now. It's a shock dart kill top mid.
I think just a dink followed up by that shock kill. That is quite a way to start this round, and the reaction is forced from Team Liquid.
Unbelievable. Spike will be planted. This door broken very quickly. And keep your eyes on Issa. She will intercept these 2 SMG players in mid.
But it starts on the site, and Team Liquid have to get proactive.
Lots of noise, and Eri takes down Issa.
And now that flank is open for SMG. They can push through. So Team Liquid have to push forward. Bastarda starts strong. Finds Shirazi, Daiki, and Bastarda. Name a better duo. There isn't one out there in Brazil, but Kamiyu is still alive towards heaven. Still dealing damage. She's got 2. And now it's Daiki alone. They know where she is. And Inari takes her down.
You believed it there for a second, but SMG, what an opener. I hope we get to see what on earth Alexi just did, because she demolished the player top mid. A shock dart kill to open up an elimination map.
Okay.
It must have been a dink previously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or even just some damage, because that was like a full 75 right on top of her.
Either way, that got it started. That mid control quickly turned in SMG's favor, putting flank pressure down on Team Liquid as well. That'll be something that TL can test with throughout this game, is mid pressure into flanks. When SMG fight over areas of the map, they quickly turn it on you.
Team Liquid have put some money into this one. 2 stingers. They look fast towards B, a Paranoia primed.
It's really just Go High B here to hold.
Do they want to dash into market and try and isolate a player there?
The smoke tells me it'll be normal, but they can wrap back into stairs here. Go High B tries to fight into it, but Starter finds the opener. B-side open now for TL.
Spectre picked up, but she's low on health.
Eyes on Georgina, up through mid, taken down by Cameo.
So now 4v4. SMG have cleared out both avenues of approach. And the volley actually bounced away. Daiki finds one. Incredible shot from Inari.
Issa inside B main. When does she pounce out? Because SMG are on the chase.
And Bizarra is still alive in the backlines. Issa finds hers. But without armor, Inari's Marshall isn't off. But she needs perfection, and Issa has it instead. A perfect shot with the Ghost, and an eco round win for TL. They haven't been great at pistols, but if they're winning rounds like that, it does not matter.
Bouncing back for sure. And that they had some tools to fight with, but it was not a full force down, right? They had a couple of pistols. They had still 1,000 creds in the bank. They are loaded.
I mean, it was Stinger, no armor.
Yeah.
That's all they had. It's a really small investment, but it works out. Credit to Issa in this round. One of those 3 new players added when Team Liquid rebuilt at the beginning of the year. She has been damn good this tournament.
Neri runs into that turret, and Issa quickly knocks her down. SMG, even after they lose rounds that really should have gone their way, it never disrupts their confidence. They are always playing fast, they're always playing loose.
Here.
Almost disrespectfully.
Yeah. They have a way of it. Team Liquid have a site. That door should close sooner. Actually broken instead earlier by Team SMG. Kamiyu will nade the close corner. The dart will tag, but no one's there to follow it up.
Not really any other utility for SMG to get back onto the site with. They did a good job delaying the spike plant, and all 4 players are here, but this flash is going to have to be big from Cameo.
It becomes about getting ult orbs for these members of Team Liquid.
Blocked it!
Yeah, that is a perfectly timed smoke, but Bizarra extends a bit too deep into the murk of that smoke, but it was only her to fall. Shirazi has only a Sheriff, and Team Liquid have this post plant on lock.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That was accidental for sure, but the smoke just eating up the flash, really unfortunate for SMG.
It's like when Viper Walt's going up, where even if it's not fully ballooned, but still block that flash. Weird situation, but it doesn't end up mattering too much in the grand scheme of things. TL up 2-1.
Ooh, hold on. Daiki's got the Hunter's Fury already in round number 4. Issa not too far off either. Funneling those orbs of the plant, and Issa getting all those kills has done some amazing work for TL's ult economy. The SMG will look to fight aggressively into A main.
But Team Liquid have 3 here. They'll play back to wait for the KO knife initially, but are ready to re-engage with the fight.
SMG are going to have a dart landing. They could get up here pretty quickly if they do want. Good flash over the corner, forces Neri back into Wine. And I don't think TL have committed enough players forward here to actually flush out this angle. They're going to have to be content with the recon dart, the one-way smoke, all of that, and now look to probably take some space back into mid. They could delay re-clearing into A main, but I don't think that fight would look good for them.
Especially with that one-way being refreshed yet again. Issa has taken B main.
Yeah, you can always get 3 of those one-ways back-to-back-to-backs before it's disrupted by cooldowns.
Issa getting spammed out here. The Molly aids with Kohibi swinging on the angle. That's a big one.
SMG getting these like utility kills.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to see from them, but now the fight into A main. Shirazi gets hers and falls off the angle.
They're back onto the site. That cloud burst great to help the escape, but Starta has to go in now.
Yeah, Bastarda, they might just freeze. Gets that opener. Dyke's also taking a lot of space in mid.
Shirazi teleports to Jen. Great angle, great reposition, and a great shot too. Bastarda whiffs out on her opportunity, and Daiki was rolled away from this one.
Yeah, she got that kill in mid, but I think Bastarda almost got baited by that kill she had. The Dice player goes down, and she wants to escalate, get back into the site. Might have been a little bit more time for Team Liquid to play with, but now that spike hopelessly stranded out to the left.
Dart in a few seconds, but there's none on the timer. Daiki will fall. SMG. They have a rough start to the map, but they're back into it, even again.
I really don't love going for that fight there with the ult already farmed up. Feels like it's just giving opportunities over the other team to scale on forward. But if SMG are able to maintain an aggressive fight in both mains, that's going to be difficult to break, because it wasn't just the Killjoy Molly. There was also a left-click pop flash setup from Cameo all the way back on stairs. It was really nice coordination from SMG's side. They've got another one, too. And Neri's going to be going quick, you might imagine.
Molly? That should break that turret. Well, Neri walks up to fight and take the space off of it.
And then you have Cameo. Once this goes down, we'll be able to throw a flash all the way from backside through that window. And then Neri could play off that.
And with this forward angle, SMG can leave. Here comes the Hunter's Fury being invested from Daiki, and the dash follows it up. Expertly done by Bastarda, and she's ahead of Kohibi. She'll swing back in and lose her life. No one was there to trade. Now it focuses on the site. Alexi, Spectre, stepping in the Molly, swinging forward, but Kohibi helps. She's still alive. Issa was working her way up mid, and she's managed to take down an Eri. They'll freeze again, but they need the spike.
Issa sees one. Issa gets the damage down. Kohibi is still alive.
But she's stuck. No man's land, and here comes a lockdown. This is a very weird situation that requires Daiki to win her fight. She has another task ahead of her. Dart in her face, Alexi on the swing. Daiki is just jumping around.
But now Issa can get the spike and retreat all the way back to B side if she wants to.
There she goes.
That's going to be the call for her. Plant it open for defender spawn and look to get active.
Alexi has shot darts, and by the time she makes it over to B, she'll have her recon as well.
Really good news for Issa is that that market door is going to end up being closed. Alexi decides to go back through main, probably called by her team that the door is closed. But on 30 HP, is she expecting a fight so soon?
This position in logs, it'll directly hold towards main. Alexi was never ready for it. Issa's got 3, and Team Liquid mirror it on the board.
What a good position to hold. Gambling a bit, but she had the turret to watch her back. There was no way a player could get up and over her. She knew exactly the state of the round. Issa has been perfection here, finding this opener, going for the lockdown flank, Just a ridiculous sequence of events there. But she stays cool throughout it all. Plays that slide off angle, and you can see Alexi was not prepared.
SMG onto an eco. They'll fight for both extremities. But Team Liquid were ready for aggression. They are playing so far back.
They're just waiting for an orb to be tapped. Contact to be made off Kahaibi's turret. Something. They can look for a little bit of chip damage with that shock. All things considered, Alexi has the Hunter's Fury. Could dip into it, but at this point, probably a lost cause.
Yeah, you want to save that for those rifle rounds. Alexi backs tight, soon to be overwhelmed. Does she find a shot now? But Bastarda is clean in this map number 3.
Bastarda a little bit slow to heat up today, yesterday as well, but once she gets going, she cannot be stopped.
Drawing forward, Team Liquid have great information, and the spam is there as well. Daiki's just gonna hop on over, but it's actually Bastarda to take it instead. Prime Gaming flawless Team Liquid.
We hear the Liquid chants here in São Paulo. We've heard Issa chants. We have heard it all. Team Liquid on top of the world right now. And all things considered, SMG just haven't had that many rounds to fight back, right? As soon as you lose that second round after winning the pistol, they've had one true rifle round through this.
What people remember about SMG is that streak, 34-0. But what that obfuscates is the fact that this is a new team. They were formed from scratch at the beginning of this year without even a core. They didn't have an Airy as a part of the team till midway through the year. And while they were great at home, together, on a LAN, in person, in a foreign country, it's all very new to them.
It's new. It's facing off against international competition, facing defeat as well. Even being on a map 3, that's a shock for them.
We've heard a lot about how much it matters to learn to lose when you are one of these regionally dominant teams. SMG doesn't want to have to learn that lesson.
But when your backs are against the wall, you have to dip back into the tried and true. What you've been so good at all year long. And that has been just keep moving forward.
5 ults for Team SMG. Their chance to regain control.
This is the round that honestly might make or break this first half of play. And TL set up to take this control over an A main. This time SMG not fighting, but started looking to dive very quickly in.
No command popped, but TO was never committed to the site. They can just wait, patiently re-clear.
They couldn't commit if they wanted to. Georgina was hit by the knife. Means no smokes can come into play. And Team Liquid will look to re-clear mid. This is very good adaptation. The last few times Team Liquid have done heavy A presence, it's been mid-round walk-ups from SMG into this space. By taking it very quickly, they now have that area and get a little chip down onto Alexi.
They left Bastarda in main. They love entrenching players like this, so they could go back into an A split if they wanted, but for now they'll pressure B.
Yo, Daiki just dropped the spike in mid and is going to do it her own. She's breaking market door. She's trying to set up for her team to take into the A site. That's already pulled a Neri, the operator, the KO. Everyone is biting on it.
But they cancel.
Daiki's doing it all.
They're back on this A site. There are still players here. The steal commit. They've lost their player in main. They're still going towards A, but they can cancel. Remember, Daiki, she was just the fake. Now she's the most important player in this round.
Now that Daiki's in mid, she's actually just entering onto the B site. No smokes to block this off, but Bazera wins her fight as well. Knives pop now from an Airy on the other side, but they're disadvantaged in number.
And there's a null command. They can rip those knives away from an Airy.
Georgina's position can stab SMG in the back. They have to act fast.
And an Airy, well, she's quick, but it's only 1 kill. 3v2.
Georgina!
Again, she just keeps getting it done. Any moment, any matter, Team Liquid, they use her to perfection, and Shirazi has so much to deal with. No health, no shot. Team Liquid are dominating on Ascent.
That is some of the quickest mid-round calling I have ever seen, from the initial dive to Daiki dropping the spike and doing it all on her own.
Their IGL is 19 years old. She's still so young, so new to this. Last year for Daiki, it was about learning, about growing, about becoming an IGL. about playing against her idols, meeting them. This year, she is the expert.
She has completely mastered the craft, and she's allowed to do it because she will also be the frontliner. She can't tell her teammates to enter B-side fast enough, so she does it on her own. Now, that was the swing round for SMG. Sheriffs, again, that was the round to break it, and they broke it so quickly, they're going to do it into B this time.
But started dashing forward. That's a free kill onto Alexi.
Where did that shot come from? Things equalized, but Issa's position in B main has been so hard to flush out. Eugenia always with this late wrap into mid as well.
She's traded. It's a gun that could be recovered, but it's just so far away. You don't have time to run for it.
Never count SMG out. Never count Inari out.
But you can count the amount of shots she's gotten with that Sheriff. One thus far. How much more? A low HP Bastarda, but a Bastarda who is ready. 6-2 now.
SMG have been vocal about struggling when they hesitate, especially in this tournament against the best competition around the world. That is a second timeout now being called for SMG after losing this eco round. And you know that Colbat is coming in and telling them not to hesitate. Team Liquid are playing so fast. SMG have not had to deal with this pace before, but they can't slow down themselves.
And this is what happened against G2. They were the first team to prove a roadblock in SMG's dominance. They weren't able to recover there. They absolutely need to here. If you lose this map, it is a long flight home. 10,000 miles away in front of your opponent's home crowd. There is so much pressure.
Could you imagine just losing 2 series in a year and not being the champion? That is unfathomable to me. And that is where Inari must step up. The operator has arrived to the server. Inari has looked for these fights bottom mid so much in the past. This game, though, it's been so much more focused around mains. If she can deal with the mid control from Team Liquid, stop Daiki and Eugenia from taking these forward positions in market, that is the idea. That's what Colbat came in with. But she has to aim true.
Four ults for Team Liquid. And again, they start the round slow. They wait for the aggression out of the timeout, but the op was baited in perfectly. Does Team Liquid fall for it?
Just swapping the angles there between Alexi and Inari. The standout performers for SMG through this event. SMG also have full control over A main. And with Kohybe's ultimate, they can look to retake B, stall out with those mollies. TL don't want to test control in mid. They're spooked by the money they see on the other side. They know an op could be here.
A main was re-cleared by SMG. Now they double back towards Cat. They have good info. They suspect it's B, but can they stop the split? Inari's blind. She missed her shot. Does she get another? She doesn't need it! Alexi has got 3. Bazera's on the ground. Issa's finding hers. How has she done that? How does Issa pull it off? How does she keep Team Liquid in this round? Can she do more? No doubt! Issa again. In front of her family, in front of her home crowd. She doesn't lose a clutch.
Simply unbeatable. In 9 rounds of play, she's gotten 14 kills and only been dropped 3 times.
And she's playing Killjoy. She is the round insurance policy that has never failed.
Unreal. When they get shut down in main, she's there in mid. Back and forth. The economy gutted from SMG. That was the off round. They step forward into main now. Inari gets the kill with the Guardian. They can fall back quickly, though. Bastarda scaled into mid.
Alexi, close right corner. It's tough to deal with. Alexi finds her shot, but it was only one. Issa helps out in main. B site taken for Team Liquid.
SMG need to find a way to soak up a couple of these ults. Give themselves a chance.
And a lockdown committed in the post plant. Aneri has to go now. Has to be a hero. But there's too much to deal with. Daiki has a shorty on the other side, and she is so perfect in her approach.
She's in the zone now, isn't she? From the calling to the shots.
Kamiyu can feel that crowd. And I'm sure she can feel this game slipping away.
Starting on defense as well here. Seeing Team Liquid get 8 on the attack. The op completely dealt with. I'm looking and I don't see the money in the bank for Aneri to go into that again. I mean, just one chance with the op in an entire half on the defensive side. That's not how you want Ascent to go.
We're running out of chances for APAC's undefeated team to stay in São Paulo. They absolutely need these last 2 rounds if they want to even have a chance.
But with the way Daiki's been calling, it's hard to see a window in. Team Liquid know that SMG's action is usually immediately at round start. They've held for that. And then in the mid-round, when Team Liquid freeze, that's when SMG are rotating themselves out of position. That's when Aneri left that angle in mid and allowed TL the time to get back in. The clock is what Daiki is playing with right now. And as SMG slip further and further away, the uncertainty begins to creep.
Issa absorbs the aggression in B main. Hunter's Fury.
That's going over in the tree, diving on in there. What on earth is happening? Bastarda's going all the way into spawn. Eyes on Bastarda. We have to get to her. She's back in spawn, but Kamiyu deals with it. Now it's Aneri. 1v3 on site.
Cloudburst keeps her alive for a moment. Molly at her feet. She will keep on fighting. But she's fallen. Visera alone. 1v3. And SMG finally break the streak. Finally have another round.
Last round in the half.
They look to get active in the mid-round, flashing into B main, but really it's dealing with that loose cannon of Bastarda. She went maybe a little bit too deep. There was still a jet to deal with on site, and that's where Neri is going to get you. Fun idea with the Hunter's Fury and the Paranoia coming in that just made so much chaos. Bastarda is able to get the opener, but that second fight, that's the one that's unsupported. That's the one that slips away now. In round 12, SMG, 4 ultimates to their name, and they're really stacked towards this B site.
Bastarda again. She keeps the pace high, and Ari will try and spam her in the close corner, but Bizarra opens the round.
That's an ult to Boathouse. Cancelled.
Won't be a factor in this round. TL, pause yet again.
Slow down, reset, we're only 20 seconds in. Kohaibi down means no passive information.
It has to be earned.
And that's where you have to take active angles. That's where Neri steps forward. Team Liquid freeze and they don't move. They're ready for a B hit. Maybe Georgina can set something up over towards A in terms of a fake.
SMG can't get antsy, but the knife sees nothing on B.
Did it?
Or did it tag someone?
I think it hit one. I think it may have hit the Killjoy as well there. Good thing is, mid-smoke allows the cross, and now it's a B fake. Quick on their feet, Daiki makes the call, and the rest of the team moves into A. Georgina already perfectly positioned in main.
Here comes the split.
30 seconds left.
Shirazi is smoked off. Daiki is selling this one well. 1-for-1 with the Odin.
Now over to the A site. It is just Alexi on site. She has to do something, and she cannot make it happen.
Plant coming down. Team Liquid a post plant to close the half. SMG swing from heaven. The turret spots them. The flash in their eyes, but Aneri still finds one. And Shirazi, she's clean, but look at Bastarda. The flank is well timed. Is it? How did that happen?
SMG finds the 3K out of nothing. SMG pull off a ridiculous retake fully from heaven. And it's not a 9-3. It's not a 10-2. SMG are back in touching distance of TL.
I cannot comprehend how Aneri made something of that round.
Let's watch it again. We'll see it. Yeah. the fight from heaven to main, and then here, sees her jump up. Bastarda not quick with those shots for the 3.
It's a great half for Team Liquid, but SMG have a fight in them yet as we head to the analyst desk.
All right, analyst desk here, but that was an interesting one coming out from the side of Team Liquid. They just came out swinging.
It's an IGLing masterclass that's going on right now. It's actually a pleasure to watch this because the feints that Daiki is doing and all the stuff that she's doing, she's keeping 2 people on sites at all times. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful to watch.
Beautiful to watch indeed. And you know what? We thought we'd do a little bit of replay. So it's time for our Verizon high-speed moment of the match. TL's round 9.
Oh, this is when, okay, so everything is going to be happening. Yeah, we didn't have this perspective, but it's lovely to see what Isa did here. 1, 2, 3.
Crazy.
Then she gets Bizarra up and she's like, oh, let me get the 4th one.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, when all hope was lost, Alexi had a pop-off moment, and then you have Isa just stepping up to the plate. Nothing but headshots. Jiggles the op and gets a headshot on it too, and then she knows that Kohebi wants to go kill the res, and she just holds it down. It's crazy. Just crazy gameplay all around.
I think that especially we can see the way everything has snowballed here on Ascent. I think that after, you know, the round 5 that we saw where, it's a 2v2, but there's a Killjoy ult, and, they keep investing and twisting the meaning of the round. Every single round, it's so important right now for both of these teams because, they could be history. It's not going to be any easy for because of the crowd buff that right now Team Liquid has in the pack.
Yeah, and we saw the player cams from SMG. No more laughter, no more any of that.
No.
It's all pressure. They're
also
feeling the pressure, and I feel so bad for them, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, you got to step up and you got to perform, and it just looks like they're not having enough fun out there how they usually do when they are winning. Especially that map 1. The map 1, they were all laughing. They're all
no money
talking
situation.
smack. Yeah.
All right, our final half of the series is now underway, so let's head back to our casters, Mimi and Ender.
It's the last half of one of these 2 teams' runs at the Game Changers Championship. SMG 10,000 miles from home, and Team Liquid trying to win in front of their families. It's fast through mid. SMG will keep the pace. They'll try and split onto B.
The hive mind on the attack here. Kohibi gets the opener. Kohibi gets the second. She is leading from the front. Bastarda turns it around. What is that for 2?
And here's the reaction. Team Liquid have Bizarra and Daiki left alive. And damage was done onto SMG. How do they set up in this post plant? How did they stop another round from slipping them by?
Alexi eyeing up lane, but it's downstairs. Daiki sees the head. Daiki finds the opener. Daiki continues on in as Bizarra finds the trade.
1v1. They're both low. Daiki has a dart, but Aneri is on the swing. She was added late to SMG. She was the player who helped them go on their flawless run, and she's the one to keep them in this game too.
The final piece of the puzzle that was this super team in APAC. She somehow in round 12 secures that for SMG and keeps it going here when it very narrowly slipped away. Let's not forget, every single round is winnable for these teams. Forget about ecos, forget about anti-E, it does not matter. These teams always have an angle to fight back.
2 players in bottom mid for Team Liquid. Do they fight through the smoke? Bastarda wants to.
Bizarra only has the 1 flash
she hears
to
footsteps.
assist. Oh my.
Here goes Bastarda. Dash proc. She's all the way around the world. The flash is perfect to get Bastarda a kill, and Daiki is getting work done as well. 2 versus 4. This was an anti-eco. This should have been SMG. And it still could be.
And look at what Team Liquid pick up. It's a Vandal and 2 Spectre. Shirazi has to get aggressive into heaven.
Here comes Bastarda fast up through heaven. We've seen her in this spot before. But she's patient this time. SMG don't have that luxury. They need to even the odds somehow. Someone needs to step up, and Shirazi is eating bullets. Into her smoke they go. Shirazi falls, and so does Alexi. Team Liquid win the eco.
It is again Daiki calling the exact right answer into SMG. It's the trap play in mid They had no utility to work with, but stepping out from behind the smoke as all 5 players had scaled forward, no one was ready to turn around. They thought they had a turret guarding their back, but it didn't prime fast enough for them to be ready. Not against Bastarda and Daiki.
A MasterCard Thrifty to secure their 9th. And SMG only has Sheriffs. They'll head towards B. Flash over the top. Aneri on the swing, but Bastarda is here. She's down. Great shot out of Aneri. They'll stop.
Every round is winnable. SMG weren't even all-inning into that site. It wasn't a full hit. 3 players, they were still watching mid, making sure no one was going to step up.
One more shot like that, and Aneri has blades. This is how eco rounds snowball.
Aneri doesn't lose with the blades.
2 on the A site to defend for Team Liquid.
It's Bizarra and Jujina to meet the 5 of SMG. And the one-way in main poses problems.
Bizarra on the angle, flash through. Aneri is up. Nade will give her some space, but they'll fight together. Jujina, her Vandal rings out for 1, but Shirazi is here to trade. Bizarra finds an angle. She fights forward past the door and groups up with her teammates now. SMG, they have a rifle. Shirazi has to go huge.
Issa has been so good, and now she is on the flank. Mid control is established from Team Liquid. SMG have to be ready for her to come through main.
They're surrounded, and there's only one answer. Fight forward. Find your space. And they've tucked into tree room. Bizarra has a flash. How much can she get done? The Spectre runs and guns and bowls them over. Team Liquid. They should not have won this round after the way it started for SMG, but they do it time and again. They always recover.
They recover, and there was a problem on Haven because you would see an opener against the Sheriffs lose a player, and TL were losing those rounds on Haven. That's why it went the way of Team SMG. But now they're talking to each other. They're getting information as soon as Issa doesn't see anyone on that site. That is communicated. They're expecting the push. That's why Bizarra's flash comes in. They are of one singular mind. APAC analysts will tell you about how SMG are the hive mind, but TL are communicating telepathically to one another.
Up for Bastarda. Paranoia through A main. No one receives on SMG.
Bizarra's really stepping forward all in her lonesome.
That forward play, and they are trying to bait SMG into this op.
Yeah, step them back into the op plane, that high angle over by B. A crossfire setup in mid. Issa to greet.
They're going into it. Issa this time can't make magic happen. And Bastarda is down. Aneri just keeps going. Wait, Darky's just on the other side. This is so awkward in spawn. But they dip away. And Daiki has an op in this round. This retake is going to be so difficult for TL.
Do TL even want to play this? Look to fish with the op, perhaps if you can't find something, could fall off. The smoke and the knife really shuts things down. It's Aneri they'll find first, tucked in this corner outside of market.
Knife spots her. Bizarra knows. Can she find the shot? No, Shirazi instead spamming through, helps her teammate out. And now they know that they can't get into this one. Kamiyu takes down Daiki. Jujina is alone, and she's overwhelmed.
SMG trading off each other perfectly right there. That position for Jujina looked really powerful. Even after Neri couldn't find the kill, it didn't matter because as Jujina tries to escape, players are swinging around from stairs, from lane, from every which way. In the post plants, that is where SMG will thrive. And especially when they deal with the opening picks. Bastarda's op got ruined. The utility to flush Issa out of market was absolutely exceptional.
Mid-fight for Team Liquid.
Wow.
Something new.
Oh, 2 bullets shot though. That's 2 separate guns. SMG will take note of that. They know something is cooking up in mid.
There's a flash ready to come through this smoke on market. But you hear that dash away. That's just maybe a bait to try and set Issa up for something big. Will anyone bite on her line?
For the time being, SMG just looking to take into market, but the reposition from Bastarda into main will be absolutely massive. It's a feint into tree. 3 players are here, but notice the spike. That's over in B main with the opener from Gohaibi deleting the Killjoy utility. They're flooding going into B.
Daiki is alone. The ult is canceled, but she's going to be flooded by members of SMG soon. One shot found, the spike on the floor. How
Unreal.
long can she sustain? Is it long enough? She's gotten two, but an Ari
Up
can
through
drain
mid,
back.
Alexi finds one, turns around, but is dealt with by Bastarda.
And it's only Bastarda. And she's going around the world, but these footsteps will be heard. But she thinks it could be a fake. Aneri doesn't know where to look. But she's holding the right angle, and her 4K wins the round for SMG.
Aneri has just been giving life rounds to SMG over and over. 21 frags now in this third and final map.
Almost double the next highest performing member of her team.
And it comes after Daiki very nearly defends the site by herself. And that's been the difference. It's been back and forth, these solo players pulling off miraculous clutch events.
A big Red Bull clutch, and it prompts a timeout for Team Liquid. And this is the moment where you have to think about their year. This was hard for Team Liquid. In the middle of the year, they lost out. Everyone else in Brazil was catching up to them with the new roster.
And their star player in Bastarda was so vocal about how difficult a time that was for her. Looking at the ceiling and days after days not finding the motivation to play the game. And struggling in the server and out of it. But it was when she and the rest of the team rallied behind one singular vision of their coach Palestra. And it was to give up on your life, commit everything to the goal. Not just winning Brazil, but winning Game Changers. It is now that they must dig into that, dig back into that, and fight to the finish.
It's what got them here. That mentality, that belief, it built to this. And they have their advantage, but Team SMG, they are rallying back.
SMG with everything. Full rifles, full shields. Team Liquid and Odin, and a little bit extra on top. But Team Liquid, they weren't allowed to complain. Can't complain about not having a social life. Can't complain about working long hours every day. And you can't complain about a bad buy. Team Liquid have won with worse.
SMG work mid. And Ari breaks the turret. And they don't commit. They're waiting for the reaction out of Team Liquid.
Not often you see SMG look for that mid control and then freeze like this. SMG are also digging into something a little bit different. Late in the hour here.
At this junction, you have to. Issa only has a ghost, and the drone will clear through. Do they follow it up, though? Because look, this is still a full default for SMG.
Aneri still just creeping back into mid, and Daiki's getting active in B main. It's a true 1 versus 1 for the time being. On the off angle with the Odin, starts the spam, but has to fall off the angle. And now your eyes need to look towards Aneri too, all the way back up in mid. Daiki gets the opener.
It's always with that Odin.
Aneri, the hero.
30 seconds left.
How does she find her way back in? No defense, but her footsteps are heard.
Issa on the other side of the smoke. A teleport forward, 2 in the back lines for Liquid. It's all on them to hold. There's a teleport. Another player joining, but SMG shutting down. Daiki still alive, and Bastarda from on high. How has she arrived this quickly? How has she saved this round? Alexi alone in an impossible situation. She needs to spin around now, and she cannot. The IGL again and again and again wins these rounds for Team Liquid.
The B site is Daiki's kingdom. She cannot be stopped. Calls in the aerial strike from Bastarda. The knives to assist. Distract those players coming on in, and she mows them down. That duo from Berlin to Brazil has been so good for Team Liquid. Now on 11, 2 rounds separate them from a top 3 finish once again.
Fast from SMG. Into the A site they go. Lockdown. Everything committed. Georgina finds Kamiyu. Issa helps out too. These anchors from Team Liquid will not be
It's
denied.
falling apart. Everyone's down. It's just Kahibi. Camu helplessly abandoned out on site.
Last player standing.
Her agency stripped away. A 1 versus 5. This team has never faced an elimination map before. SMG, this is unfamiliar territory.
Lose this, and you'll face your first elimination point ever. Never seen the other side on 12 in a final map.
Kohibi knows it's over. Overwhelming odds in this
30
round.
seconds left.
She has to hope that her team can come back 5 in a row.
But SMG have no money. Their backs have been broken with this one. And Becerra finishes the job. Team Liquid advance to 12.
Match point.
A Prime Gaming flawless at the most opportune time. Team Liquid almost have this in the bag.
They can taste it.
One more round in front of this crowd, in front of their families, to keep the run alive.
10 seconds of breath, and then it is do or die for SMG. They have 3 Sheriffs, a Vandal, and a Bulldog. Team Liquid have everything. They have the cushion of 5 rounds. They have a Hunter's Fury. They have Daiki's Odin, which on its own may be enough to win this entire game for TL.
SMG take mid.
The knives activated. Aneri has been the standout for SMG. Has been the star. Must be it once again for the team.
They go towards A.
It's a fake though. Spike in B. Aneri just looking for an opener.
Daiki's not falling for it.
Does she ever stop moving? Window's broken. She can go in here.
She can get so deep. She can get the drop on her opposition. How much can she find though? Becerra's not looking. She's dead. Now activates the push onto the site. Shirazi has one with the Sheriff. But it's a fight on 2 fronts. That Spike's still yet to find anything. And Daiki is getting activated. And Ari's still here alone.
What
It
is
a war
happening?
on so many fronts. How is this ending here?
The Spike is over on B while this 1v1 happens in main, and it's Shirazi that gives up on the fight. The call comes in to join with her teammate on the B site. It's a 2
But
on
look at
2.
mid. Shirazi is going to fight straight into Bastarda's op, and she's just holding the angle. She needs this shot, and she whiffs it. Can Bastarda live? Can she find another opportunity? Because time is the biggest friend of SMG.
Look where Shirazi's gone. How does she get over to bench? Bastarda expects it, but no, Shirazi finds the first. Bastarda has turned it into a 1-on-1.
Kamiyu to save SMG. Flash around the corner. Bastarda blinded, jumping every which way. It's flashes on both sides. It's a tap on the Spike. Bastarda needs to get it done now. She's got no time. She's got no chance. SMG live yet again.
SMG thrive in the chaos. Just an absurd round from them. It's a full A take. They have heaven, they have sight, but somehow the Spike is solo on B.
And well, Kamiyu confirmed it. It was Shirazi who won that round.
That's true.
Stalling in mid was massive.
It's different though, watching Kamiyu play full util stall rather than take the fight. It's a different SMG than the one that dominated in APAC.
But they'll still show signs of that team. They'll still try and get aggressive, but they get picked off. Bastarda's all brings out for 1. Now they have to go into B. Teleporting to the back lines. Is it going to get canceled? Absolutely. Are they still committed to this? Aneri's getting tagged. She's getting shot at from so many different angles. Now here comes the help. Paranoia on the site. Daiki with the Odin. He's dead, and so is Issa. They're on the site. They've got Bastarda. And SMG might just have the first clean round we have seen in ages. They might have regained control of this game.
SMG just rolled Team Liquid over. Daiki's never been under so much pressure on the site. from recon darts behind her, paranoia's blasting her eyes. She couldn't get anything done against that hit.
The second you think SMG has changed because of the pressure, the second you think they have stopped running at you, they have slowed down, they changed the pace. Even in the biggest match of their careers, the most pressure they have ever been under, they will still run at you. They will still play the game that got them a 34-0 streak back home.
A 34-0 streak. The 4 accidental duelists and still dominating. This team is excited like no other in the Game Changer scene. But they still need 3 more.
And that would only get them overtime.
For the first time in a long time, though, it's a half buy from Team Liquid. That's when they're most dangerous. That's when they get rabid, though.
Mid-control for SMG.
And a bit of a trap set up from Team Liquid. Bastarda over in Pizza. They show the Sova inside market to try and get that angle over to Bastarda, but the Sheriff isn't able to find the shot.
So the dash is gone.
Oh, and Aries gone up there, though. Looking to maybe put some pressure into the B site before the exit goes through into main.
This is a fake from SMG. The spike is nowhere near it, but they don't commit to anything. They'll reset.
You fully clear market, and you hope that the tree player rotates off of A over to B to put assistance. But it's a little too quiet now. Bastarda will rotate very quickly. First contact, Bizarra.
They have to deal with Eugenia. Sitting in wine. Primed. But she is dead. A huge kill from Alexi. Bizarra is blinded on the site. In comes SMG. Somehow she's gotten to. But surely it doesn't bring her
still
around.
hunting, and Aries still hunting, and she finds it. That's 2 on the round for her.
And Bastarda's running around the world. She's so far away from this play.
Aneri was just heaven, now she's wine. The next player to take a fight. She is just laser focused, but around the corner, Bastarda whiffs! The shots are not there. 4 into the wall, make it a 5th. And SMG clean up shop.
Surely Team Liquid doesn't stumble now, an opportunity to make something more of that round. But it doesn't come to fruition.
Think about it though, for Bastarda. Has had a fantastic game thus far, but the last few rounds, missing the shots, players not looking at you. The op shot in mid against Shirazi's Omen. Few rounds ago. At the start of SMG's wins, that's 3 in a row now, Bastarda has had critical misses.
Second timeout in the half for Team Liquid. They're on the precipice of progressing, of staying alive, of eliminating SMG. But teams from Brazil have been here before. That's how we started the year. A Brazilian trophy slipping away. We're not there yet, but to see them eliminated here, to not follow up on the great series they've had, would be tragic. It would be the only thing they could think about. It would be back to staring at the ceiling, thinking about what could have been.
The hopes and dreams of 2 regions riding on this. APAC and Brazil, awaiting them, EMEA, and then North America. And awaiting them today as well. This is a grueling affair. You better believe that G2 are frothing at the mouth, getting all these rounds. SMG and TL are exhausting themselves, but they have to keep pushing. It goes back to Palestra's vision. No complaints. Sacrifice everything. That is the only way you will ever win anything.
Turret out.
Round 23. SMG are 2 away from making this comeback real.
The hive mind. 5 players together outside of tiles. It's mid-control again. That has been working for them. Team Liquid haven't found a perfect answer to it yet. These splits in from market, and Neri going quick once again.
And Ari with a dash, but it's Issa and
Bastarda
Bastarda fighting forward. They find 2. The Molly fractures SMG setup. They have to find a new opportunity, a new direction. They'll fight through spawn. Daiki here to hold. She's got 1. The Cloudburst separates them off, and Ari cuts 1 down. She's got more. She has saved this team before.
There's still 2 players awaiting them on A site. Bastarda on the way as well. Tucked away on Generator. Aneri comes around the corner, tucked back into Hell. Aneri finds one, it's 3 on the round, but Georgina has done it! Team Liquid will defeat SMG and advance to the top 3 once again.
Their hero run continues. The gauntlet calls them deeper into this tournament. And in front of their home crowd, in front of their families, it seems like they cannot lose.
They were the first to be knocked down, but they have picked themselves back up. Team Liquid have brought the crowd to their feet, game after game, match after match.
And it's history repeating itself. The same top 3 orgs as last year. A chance for revenge for Daiki and Bastarda. A chance for success for the first time for 3 of the new players on this team.
And you have to feel it for Team SMG on the other side. Just about the best year you could possibly ask for. Representing APAC proud as the #1 seed. They dominated their scene. They came in with the flashiest first game you could ever ask for, and they fought tooth and nail to the finish. It is a tragedy, it is a heartbreak that they can't move on farther.
And for Aneri especially, it's such a moment for her. A map away from making it to Berlin. The player everyone expected then. She had her spotlight here and she lived up to it. But it is Team Liquid's moment. But it is not yet their day. G2 awaits them. This will be quite possibly the hardest day these players have ever had. 3 more maps could be ahead of them in just an hour.
We could have overtimes. We could have everything. Team Liquid, the most sportsmanlike you could possibly ask for as well. Daiki, you know, feels it for the players on the opposite side of the stage. She got sent home, could not make it to finals day last year. But now you see it in her eyes. You see that grin, you see that smile in front of the home crowd. Something's different in the air this time around.
And you know they're thinking about the sacrifices they've made. The long days, the hard moments to get here. It's paid off in this game, but there's a lot more left for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid have only lost to 2 orgs internationally. G2 Esports and Shopify Rebellion. Those are the 2 teams that await them now. Can they turn it around? Can they turn it around in a second best of 3 in one day? The back-to-back double bus fight. It's brutal, it's intense, but they've got the momentum.
And think about what they've done already. They lost in the first round to go to this lower bracket. They lost against G2. And with their form in this lower bracket, they seem primed to take their revenge.
There's not a better boot camp, is there? Just playing the lower bracket, the maximum amount of games, the maximum amount of rounds. And you could see it in the class. I mean, Issa especially in this final game, if you were to highlight one player who just shot better, it was Issa. On Haven especially, here as well. And if you want to play the brains game, Daiki. An absolute masterclass.
I think this is the best series she's probably ever called. That Ascent map in particular was a masterclass from her.
Yes. When she went for the solo play into market on attack, the rest of the team ran into A, then the A play falls and she enters B site herself, not to mention her defense, which could not be broken. You see the 4K there, it was money. Daiki is in the zone right now.
And so is Team Liquid. It's going to be a brutal day. There's another game for them, but they have a moment to think about the glory they achieved here, the game that they just won, and we have an interview standing by on the stage.
Salve, salve, gentilinho. Estou com a Georgina aqui, uma salva de palmas para ela. Grande vitória. I'm here with Georgina after this amazing win, and I'm gonna ask her about this match, about facing SMG. They're really good individually. How tough was to play this BO3? Georgina, foi lindo, maravilhoso. Estamos todos muito felizes aqui, vibramos muito, ficar arrepiado. Cara, e a SMG é um time muito bom. O Spaca tava falando que para ele é o time com a melhor mira do campeonato. Como foi enfrentá-las? Quão difícil foi?
foi muito difícil eu abrir só tomar a bola na cara. Essa Ascent só foi assim pra mim, elas têm muita mira, a gente respeita muito elas e ao respeitar elas a gente deu o nosso melhor.
She said that every time she was trying to pick, she was getting bullets in her head. It was really, really tough to play against them, but they overcome. E agora, revanche contra a G2. É um time que já conheceram, tem esse fato de jogar uma atrás da outra. E eu quero saber como vai ser esse jogo contra a G2, como é que tá a preparação em relação à revanche. E é buff, jogar aquecida, tá inteirinha ainda, tá tranquila.
Tá todo mundo muito ansioso pra jogar, pra gente ter essa revanche. O primeiro jogo que a gente fez contra ela tava muito nervoso, então a gente não conseguiu mostrar que a gente sabia jogar, mas agora que a gente já acostumou com o palco, com a torcida, vai dar bom.
Asked her about the next game against G2. It's a rematch, and she said that the first time they were really nervous, they couldn't play their game, and now they're a little bit more comfortable to play against G2. E agora, por último, essa torcida, cara. Essa torcida aqui tá insano, tá insano. Eu quero saber como é que é. Pressãozinha a mais, responsabilidade a mais por jogar na frente deles, ou é só alegria? I asked her about playing in front of the Brazilian crowd.
Ela quer conversar
some extra
diversas
pressure,
coisas.
extra responsibility, or it's easier to play with them?
É muito gostoso ter torcida. Eu espero que eles gritem muito pela gente agora contra a G2, que a gente vai fazer história.
It's so good to play in front of the Brazilian crowd. I hope they cheer for us because they're gonna make history. Muito obrigado, cê é braba, boa sorte. É nóis.
When people think about esports, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Players, obviously, but there's so much more.
With the launch of the MasterCard Gamer Academy, we're providing 10 people who are passionate about League of Legends or Valorant and want to pursue a career in esports with the chance to learn what it takes. What it takes to manage a team.
Can we wrap this up? We need to scream.
What it takes to produce content. Cut. Okay, yep. Okay, action. What it takes to write, direct, and produce award-winning content. And of course, what it takes to pull off some of the largest events like the League of Legends World Championship or Valorant Champions. In partnership with MasterCard, we've created a priceless experience. The chance to fly to Seoul, Berlin, and more, and take immersive courses on esports, business, content, and everything in between. Taught by the very best. Think you have what it takes? Here's how to apply.
Red Bull gives you wings.